in communication with Southern California. Channel 9 Public Affairs presents the show where kids tell it like it is. Teen Talk.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Teen Talk. It was Paul Mertens, the head of the Gifted Student Program at Walter Reed Junior High School, who said, "Some people think democracy means being absolutely equal and having the same curriculum for each student. But in a real democracy, we owe to each individual the opportunity to develop his talents to the utmost." And I would add, there is no more visible place we seem to be failing than in the area of our gifted students. I'm Joseph Feinstein, and today on Teen Talk, we've invited a group of young people who are undeniably gifted. Welcome, panel. Welcome to Teen Talk. Emerson once said that a weed is but a flower that someone decides doesn't belong in the garden. And I'm wondering, have you ever felt, because of your gifted status, that you don't belong? Matt, how do you feel about that?
I really feel that I do belong because I attend the Walter Reed Junior High Individualized Honors Program, and they've set us aside with the curriculum that we can have. And because of that, I feel that it's appropriate, and I don't feel isolated because I do have friends outside of the program.
Good. I'm glad to hear you say it, and I'm glad the way you said it. You said it with a great determination. I appreciate that very much. How about you, Mario? Do you feel like you belong, or?
Well, very rarely. I mean, I might be joked about it sometimes. They might say, well, Mario's here, so he can do it, because he's probably the smartest in the group.
Yeah.
That's how I felt in elementary school a lot. But when you get into junior high school and high school, you find that many people around you are much smarter than you are, or equal. So then I've never experienced people who are like a lot smarter than I was. So then you really fit in very well. And as long as you become friends with everyone, and just make sure you have a lot of different friends. It doesn't matter their intelligence, as long as you have a lot of friends, it doesn't matter.
Drew, do you feel this way too?
Yeah, I'm in college now, by the way, and it's kind of hard recently because I'm living in the dorms now. I'm an only child. I'm not used to living with other people, so I mean, naturally, I'm going to feel like I don't belong. The real problem I have is that I realize my talents, but and I have some problems realizing other people's talents. And my biggest fight is to try to avoid being pompous about it, or arrogant, because...
Were you arrogant in high school or in elementary school?
No. In high school and elementary school, I was pretty low-key, basically because I didn't achieve as much as I would like to. And I had a real problem with procrastination. So I'm just getting over that. But it was a serious problem, so...
Okay, yeah, I know. You can put it off up until just so much time, and then you have to finally get to it.
Yeah.
What about you, Lisa? Do you feel like you're somebody different because you're so smart?
Well, yeah, I did. I was real ostracized in high school. I'm in college now also. And yeah, because my scores were so far above everybody else's that I knew when the PSAT scores came out and somebody that knew me was in the office the night before they were announced, my score went all the way around the school before I knew it.
Really?
And yeah, and it was the highest that had been ever at my school for the last 8 years, and the only one that beat it was my big sister.
Really?
Yeah.
The genes marched on into your body, yes.
And it was tough because everybody was like, "Oh."
What does it feel like? What I not being a gifted myself, I don't know the feeling, but what does it feel like when all that was happening to you? What was going on inside of Lisa's heart?
It makes me really angry because I know that I know things. I can assume that I know things, and I use words that other people don't know sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I don't realize the other people that I'm talking to aren't communicating with me at the same level. And it's really hard because nobody ever taught me to be ashamed of it or anything.
I know,
like
and
that.
I don't want, that's the whole purpose of it. There should not be any shame attached to it, rather just the opposite. There can be a pride and a willingness to understand that you are in a very small minority, 3% of our population, and that this is a blessing that's been given to you. And with it, with every blessing, comes responsibility. And how you use that responsibility is, of course, a very important byproduct of everything. Amanda, you're not as old as Lisa or Drew. You're just our 14, a little baby kind of person. What's it like to know that you're gifted? What does it feel like?
Well, it's kind of between Lisa's and,
Drew?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel left out, but now, I did when I was in elementary school, but now that I'm in junior high, most of the people at the school I go to, Pacoima Junior High, I'm in the gifted section, so almost everyone there is gifted anyway, so it's not like a big deal anymore.
Okay. Do you guys choose and draw out and consciously go for other kids like yourself? Do you do that, Chris?
Not really. I just try to do what I really feel I want to do.
Well, are your friends as bright as you?
I just try to get friends if I like them as a personality. But really, I don't care whether they're smart. I don't care whether they have more brains or less brains than I do. I have some friends who are very intelligent. I have one friend who's very intelligent, I think. And I have some friends who who never got the talents that some of us did.
Okay, I know what you mean. How about you?
Well, I really understand what Drew was talking about, because I know it's really easy to get you get insecure because you know that people, if they find out that you're smarter than they are, or if they find out that you get better grades. At my school, since we're only one little program, a lot of the other kids think that, they call us schoolgirl, or you actually bring your books to school, and for them it's cool to fail. For them it's cool not to do well in school. So you have to try and, be confident about it, but also be really nice to everyone.
Well, I have to be nice to someone too. I have to be nice to our sponsor, and we're just one little program, and it's time for that commercial break. I can see that being gifted is both a blessing and a curse, and when we come back, I want to find out how you cope with kidding and jealousy from your friends, and perhaps even your family. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back. I once got a letter from Kim Young, once certified by the Guinness Book of World Records as the most intelligent person in the world. Genius IQ is given at 160. Kim's was 210. The funny thing was, when he wrote me the letter, he was only 2.5 years old. When and how did it first become apparent to you that you were a little different? How about that one? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I know I was tested in the 2nd grade. So when I started 2nd grade, I was in a new school with different surroundings from ones I've ever been in before. It was sort of, a new experience to me. But it didn't really dawn on me that I was, gifted. I was just sort of okay, well, they wanted to put me in this school because, I did something right.
I did something right.
I did something. So, I guess this is my reward. It didn't appeal to me. Great, you're going to get more education. I was like, why? But I guess it started to dawn on me in I guess 4th or 5th grade, when I started to realize my friends are talking about, we went to the zoo today, and I'm like, well, I had to write a 5-page report today.
Something's going on. It's a little different, right?
Yeah, I guess it was around that time. It wasn't like a major change. I didn't feel like I'm gifted. I need to go out and buy every book I can and learn everything. I just
okay. All right. So there's some things that are shading your awareness. Chris, you wanted to say something.
Yeah. When I was young, for one thing, I did not talk until I was 4 years old, while other kids talk when they're 1. And as time went along, I suddenly started getting interested in such things as space shuttle, things that most kids.
Most 4-year-olds are just
Right.
not too interested in, yeah.
And suddenly I was talking like crazy. I became a very talkative child.
Why do you think you didn't say anything till you were 4? Everything up till then was pretty good, is that it?
I guess so, but probably I was bored or something. I don't.
Yeah, nothing to say.
I had nothing to say.
I had nothing to say, right? Nobody asked him any questions, so he had nothing to say.
But as things went along, I slowly, grew intelligent. I watched the news. I've read encyclopedias, and as I keep on sort of changing my interests. As when I was young, I wanted to be a doctor first. Then came this astronaut, and now I feel like being a politician.
Really? All right. Well, maybe you will be the first intelligent president of the United States. Who knows? The first gifted president. That's always a possibility. The thing I didn't tell you about with Kim Young was the fact that at 2.5 years old, he was reading and writing 4 languages. 4 languages, not just Korean, which is where he was born and raised, but English and French and German were among his languages that he read fluently. And the letter that he wrote me was a 3-page letter in English, which was translated into Korean, or Korean, which was translated into English. And he wrote all 6 pages, so it was incredible. Drew, tell me, the movies are a little rough on intelligent people, on the gifted. They refer to the gifted as nerds, as 4 eyes, and then they take a lot of ribbing and a lot of kidding, and they're not particularly kind to gifted students. How does this make you feel?
Well, obviously it doesn't make me feel very good. The problem is I want to go into cinema, and so I'm kind of interested in changing that problem a little bit.
Good. That's a nice way. You work within a problem.
Right, right. It's a problem, though, for me personally, because to have the best movie, it's got to appeal to the biggest audience. And personally, I found that a lot of times people have thought, that I was a geek, things I did. I mean, the other night I was lifting weights and I had Gregorian chants, blaring all over the place. And I was wondering, what are people going to think?
Doesn't everybody lift weights to Gregorian chants?
So, it's just things like that. I have kind of odd tastes. I go for esoteric movies, but, the object of making movies is to make money a lot of times. So if I'm a starving artist, it doesn't do a lot
just
good.
as long as you don't procrastinate, everything will be just fine. That's the important thing. Tell me, Molly, how have your parents treated you at home? Do they get a little bit exasperated with you, or do you get a little exasperated with them because of the intelligence factors?
Well, both my mom and my dad are very intelligent people. They both have
You are so
higher
smart
degrees.
to say that. You are so smart. You're going to get a $10 a week allowance
Right.
raise. I know you're kind.
They both went on to college. They both have higher degrees in learning, and my mom especially has really pushed me. She is really behind me, and she said, "Okay, we found out you're smart. Now you do everything that you can, and we're going to make you work to your potential." And so, that sometimes that gets a little hard on me, because a lot of times you don't want to work, you just
I know. It's called sleep and hang out.
Right, but I like it too, I like working, I like our program, I think it's really interesting.
You're in the Paul Mertens program too?
Yeah.
Terrific.
And both my parents, they've always just said, whatever you do, we know, you'll be the best at it, and we love you. So I've never felt like, oh God, I have to do what they say.
I wonder how many parents have said "I love you" to their children for any reason. There's no reason, whether they're intelligent or not too intelligent. "I love you" has a bearing. Now, you were telling us that your brother is driving you crazy. Is he not as intelligent, or is he more intelligent than you, Amanda?
Well, he's average intelligence, and that's fine. But my parents treat us like completely different people, and they expect him to be as good as I am sometimes. And that drives him up the wall, and it makes me feel guilty sometimes that I'm more intelligent than he is, and it's.
Well, I'm going to feel guilty too if I don't take a station break, so I got to do that. With your gift comes a great responsibility, and when we return, I want to hear your plans for utilizing your special talents as you become adults. We'll be right back, and you stay right there. I want to see you when we get back, okay? I know you realize that you're in a very small segment of our society because only 3 to 5% of our 240 million Americans have the intelligence that you do. What do you see as your special challenge and contributions as a result of having all those smarts? Matt?
Well, when I'm picturing this as when I grow up,
Yes?
I see myself as being successful because I've always wanted to be successful.
Okay.
To
Good.
be successful.
Nice image.
I would like to either make something that would be useful, but I sort of am intrigued by the idea of a Nobel Prize for anything. No, I would work to get one of those, either for peace or for literature. I love to write.
It's a lovely dream. That's a lovely dream. Keep that dream in the forefront of your brain. Lisa, what would you like to do?
Well, I don't know if I feel like I have a challenge. I don't know if I feel like that there's something expected of me. I don't want to feel like there's something expected of me.
Okay, that's a good idea.
This bright.
Yeah.
Because my big sister was a published playwright when she was 21, and it's tough footsteps to follow in. And I'm going into theater. I'm in a theater program at Northwestern, and all my English teachers and all my math teachers and all my science teachers won't speak to me from high school because I'm pursuing theater. I'm not pursuing something that they perceive as intellectual.
I am not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you're not in this world to live up to mine. But I guess that may be that some of these teachers feel that you are.
Well, yeah, they all wanted me to go their way because I was good at that subject or this subject or the other subject, and I want to do drama, I guess. Because
You do your drama and just be the greatest dramatist and actor, whatever you're going to be. Drew, you were in some sort of nice program up north, weren't you?
I've been in a lot of programs. Yeah, I don't think teachers really expected me to go into anything, purely academic because I cartoon. I cartoon a lot every day, for at least 5 hours. No, have to do homework sometime. Yeah. So I've always, my art has always been the main thing. Of course, it's gotten in the way of a lot. I haven't developed as quickly in other areas as I would have liked to, but I'm starting to do that now.
Good.
And,
Good. That's a nice feeling. What are you guys most proud of so far? Mario, anything that you're proud of so far?
I'm proud that I guess since I'm the first generation to actually be born in this of our family to be born in the United States.
Where are you from?
My parents are from South American. Yeah, my dad's Argentine and my mom's Cuban.
Okay.
And also I'm really proud to be born here and be able to better myself because I see other people around me and they're not trying hard enough. I mean, you can be whatever you want to be, no matter. I mean, you just have to try at what you're doing and don't let anybody tell you that you're not supposed to be smart. Because I see a lot of people around me. They used to be honor students, used to be really, really smart, and now they just gave it up. Just they want to be cool, so they don't want it. They don't do their homework, and they're very, very smart. And I see it's just a big waste. It's a really huge waste.
Wow, Vanessa, what are you proud of so far?
I think I'm proud of some of the same things, Mario, is that I've kept up with my education. I haven't said, well, I want to be cool instead of smart, or I haven't said that being cool doesn't involve being smart, So I think that keeping up with my education is one thing. I like to pursue other things too, and I think I'm pretty proud of myself for that, not just letting myself.
Well, having been you're seeing a rather disillusioned teacher who left teaching a little bit ago. I retired early from teaching because I've been facing so much failure in watching my students fail and in watching them not coming to school that I've lost a certain amount of that drive and that enthusiasm. How do you keep your enthusiasm up? What do you do to get the
I really wanted to say that it's really sad that these days there are so many more teens and so many more children who are not trying their best and not trying their hardest to get a good education. And I think that not only should we push ourselves more, but the parents and the adults of this country should try as much as they can to make sure that we have a future.
I don't know what the magic cure is, and I don't know how to stimulate it and encourage it. But without education, which is a wonderfully free gift that's been part of our American society and American way of life, it's there and it's available. And for young people not to take advantage of it seems so sad in my estimation and so depressing that I just couldn't watch it any longer. And I had to say goodbye to school, and I had to leave that place because going into it each day was such an enervating experience. If I had a group of kids like you every day, it would be a totally different kind of world. Let me leave you with this. Someone said nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. How do you plan to maintain your enthusiasm and your passion in this rather apathetic world? What are you going to do, Drew?
Well, I'm lucky. I have a role model. My best friend, John Hunt, goes to Harvard. And it's, you know, I've watched him for years and years, and we kind of grew up together. And it's interesting just observing and remembering what he does about certain things. So, you know, I'm lucky in that respect.
For instance, give me one for instance.
Well, let's see. He and I have loads of in-jokes, you know, most people do. But they tend to be, you know, sort of like highbrow in-jokes, like criticizing people on their preposition usage, you know, things like that. Yeah, the whole thing is, you know, he likes to study, and he takes pride in his knowledge, and he knows a heck of a lot. So, you know, I admire that, and we're friends, and so that makes it all the easier.
Well, I admire so much of what you guys have said and so much of what you've offered here. We'll be right back with some final thoughts in just a moment. Stay there. Stay there. I got something more to tell you. Thomas Huxley said that the secret of genius is to carry the spirit of the child into old age. I believe that quote is as appropriate now as when it was first written, but it may be a little more difficult to accomplish today with the barrage of pictures, words, and noise coming from the media. It truly requires a special genius to sift through the trivial and discover the essential. While I'm confident in the bright futures of our guests here today, I'm also concerned about those gifted youngsters who are being left undetected because of poverty, lack of adequate school funding, and absence of encouragement to use their talents to the fullest. This country cannot afford wasting its most valuable resource, the creativity and genius of its people. For Teen Talk, this is Joseph Feinstein saying we'll see you very soon.